Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're really excited to have you joining us this morning. It's a beautiful morning out there.
It's gorgeous.
So just grab you a little cafecito and have a nice sit outside.
I got something better.
We've got something a little stronger.
That's right.
Than cafecito that we'll be having, that we'll be tasting live on air today and talking about, I should say. We're going to be joined. We've got three fantastic sets of guests here today. We're going to be joined by Glomski, founder of Vitae Spirits. We're going to be joined by Jacqui Slusher, Maiden Watson, some of the co-founders of Craft CVille.
That's right.
And we're going to be joined by Olga Morse, the founder of Adelante Business Alliance. And
like I said, full house.
Full house, a full house, and a beautiful house. I'm
be able to speak today, I can tell.
And
I'm trying to keep that down. Is that the idea,
That
Alex?
was the design. I said, how many desks can we get in here so that we can shrink Xavier's segment down to 5 minutes?
Oh, boy.
But it's going to be a beautiful time, I think.
It is.
Today on Today Mañana. As always, we're extremely grateful to being on the I Love CVille set.
Always.
We're grateful to our sponsors. You know, we are presented always by Emergent Financial Services. We are powered by Vitae Spirits, by Cristel, Noel, State Farm Agency, and by GBS Financial Services. And we are always partnering with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I know to start with, for those who have been watching, Xavier has a new Tuesday Tips.
That's right.
That you can see on Facebook and on Instagram. And I know that was
I'm
really
glad you know
interesting.
that.
I happened to be watching. I was watching the Tuesday
No, I'm glad you know where it's on.
Oh, where it's on.
I just give the tip. Where it goes.
You give the tip, and where it goes, you have no idea.
That's up to the guru over there, right?
Exactly. The social media ninja knows
the ninja,
where it goes.
Not the guru, the ninja. That's right. I got to make sure I say that right.
And so I know I know the topic was kind of interesting that I think it's worth just briefing people about shortly, and it's called the Rule of 55, which sounds...
And it's an IRS rule.
It is an IRS rule, but I mean, it sounds like a novel, like one of those thriller novels, but it's really just an IRS rule.
Yeah, it is. It's not as exciting, but it can be very useful, for those that need it. So, the IRS Rule 55 simply states that if you are 55 years old, in other words, if you're 54 years old in 12 months. 11 months and 28 days, and you get fired by a company, it doesn't work, right? But if you're literally 55 years old or older, and you get let go from a company, right, or you're fired, or you have to leave for whatever reason, right, then the IRS says that you can actually tap into the 401k of that company, right, without having to pay the 10% penalty. Remember, you up until age 59 and a half, if you tap into any of the retirement plans that except for the Roth, right? Any retirement plans like an IRA, a 401k, etc., then you have to pay a 10% penalty if you take money out before 59 and a half. But from the age 55 to the age 59 and a half, if for whatever reason, like I said, you were laid off or you had to leave for a good reason, then you can tap into that 401k. Now, the key here is, and this is very important because a lot of people do this and then forget, a lot of people don't even know about Rule 55, but a lot of people do this, and that is, a lot of people, once they leave a company, they say, okay, what do I do with my 401k? And they may roll that 401k into a traditional IRA and have their financial advisor manage that, right? If you do that, once you transfer that money out of the company, you can no longer tap into it. So you have to make sure that, like I said, if you're laid off and let's say you're 55, you don't need the money right then and there. I mean, obviously the important thing is tap into your emergency fund or any other funds you may have, but let's say 2 years later, you say, I still can't find a job and now I need to tap into something. You must have left the money there, right? So then you can tap into that 401k. You cannot tap into any other plan,
You can't move it somewhere else.
That's right.
And then afterwards say, I wanted to use the Rule of 55 on this.
Exactly.
Once you've moved it, you've kind of lost your opportunity.
That's right. That's right.
Do it.
So that's important because, like I said, given what's transpired in the pandemic, in 2019, and a lot of people may have lost their jobs or had to leave for whatever reason, and here we are 2020, maybe they're still struggling, and now it's like, I need to tap into some funds. If that exists for you, you can tap into it without the 10% penalty. So I thought that was important for, it's one of those tips that I guarantee you 90% of the people don't even know it exists, right? And it's just important to remember that and realize that is available to you And, if you need it, then you do it, right? But there was also something that I wanted, so this is a little statistic that I read
that
yesterday.
you came across.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. So the S&P has yet have a downturn of 5% this year, right?
The S&P 500 has not
in
declined.
2021 has not declined by 5%. And I know you and Jerry on Tuesday were looking at all that red and getting all nervous.
The red
and it's
was
the S&P is still
nervous.
up big time this year. But anyway, so the S&P has not had a 5% decline any point this year, right? In 2021, yet 90% of the stocks inside the S&P have had at least a 10% retrenchment at some point in time.
But the
right?
entire thing
But the entire thing. So,
has not.
So what does that say? That say, we always talk about diversification. One of the advantages of diversification is that you get that type of, exposure where if you're in like 2 or 3 of the stocks that have gone down 10% or went down 10%, you're stuck with them, right? In other words, your return is not as good. But when you're diversified, and again, not just the S&P 500, you can diversify into other funds that have other type of securities out there. So I just thought, when I read that was amazing.
Because you would sit there and think, well, if the S&P 500 has not been down 5% all year, nothing in there was down. But in reality, there are numerous.
Yeah. And again, it might come back, right?
Exactly.
But at any given point in time,
at a certain point in time.
Exactly, yeah.
And by diversifying, you basically have left that out.
Exactly, absolutely. And again, and I always say, having down markets up to, let's say, down 10% is actually healthy, right? Because when you have markets that continue to go up and up, it's like a volcano. The more you hold that back, boom, when it explodes, then you're in big trouble, right?
Build a bubble by having
when
no
the volcano
downtimes.
kind of erupts a little bit or lets off some smoke, right? That's healthy. So, I know we cringe every time we see red on the screen, but we see red 1 or 2 days, no big deal, right?
Exactly. And if you're properly diversified, the red is not something to panic about or worry about, because you're not in this. Most of us are not in this for a day-to-day trading. We're in this for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
So you can't get nervous about one red day and
or
say,
two.
oh my, or 2 even. But just to show you, for all the big down days that we've had, where the Dow is down minus 600, still the S&P 500 still hasn't dropped.
Remember, if it was 1970s, the Dow's down 600. That's huge, but the Dow's up so big that 600 is not what it used to be. The number seems big, but percentage-wise,
it's not as much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But let's face it, news sells, right? So the first thing you want to say is, "Whoa, the Dow was down 600." Panic time. Well, that's really very small.
It's not what it used to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Same as the dollar. Dollar's not what it used to be.
It's not. I know.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
All right.
Let's not go there. Otherwise, we'll have to be drowning our sorrows in.
No, I just I always think about the obviously you weren't around then, but in the 70s, when I used to be able to go to Europe, and I remember a vacation $600. I spent 2 months in Europe. $600 to get you 1 day in Europe today. So it's
you can't get there.
You can't even
the
get
airline
there.
ticket is
That's
even
true.
600
Yeah, that's true.
bucks.
Well, I didn't count the airline ticket. It was
halfway to
$99, but I didn't count
Okay.
it. So my bad. $700.
$700. No, sometimes they $600 that you halfway across
Although
the Atlantic.
it wasn't a genuine airline. It was one of those.
Discount airline.
Yes, because it was for quote unquote students. So, once in a while you had to kind of help along and flap your own wings. But we got there. So that's what counts. So.
You had to push there.
That's right.
Oh goodness.
Anyway, I'm thirsty.
You're ready. You're ready. You've been ready for
thirsty.
this ever since Ian walked in and said, "I have
absolutely
new amazing."
I just perked up. Instead of caffeine, when he said that, who needs caffeine? This is much better. Vitae spirits.
So we're really excited to welcome to the show Ian Glomski, PhD, founder, Vitae Spirits. Ian, thanks so much for coming back.
Thanks for bringing me in. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, you have the honor.
It's a pleasure for us too, I'll tell you that much.
It's a pleasure for us too.
It's nice to be welcomed.
Absolutely. No, you actually have the honor, I think, of being the first non-Urpí repeat guest.
That's right.
And the Urpís,
Yeah.
we kind of host the show, so we're always
Yeah.
repeat guests. We're the guests that people get tired of and said, why are they back? But you're the first non-Urpí repeat guest on today, Mañana. So we're really excited for today because I know you have some amazing new creations that you're always working on.
Yeah, we've got lots of things going on. So I brought in some relatively new releases within the last month or two. I'm happy to show them to you.
Let's do the big reveal.
Drum roll, please.
Denouement. It's actually funny because they're actually been marked up. Like we have to buy these bottles back from the government for me to pour them.
That's amazing.
For you.
That's
So that's why so we don't confuse our sold bottles versus our unsold bottles. We put like markers across the front and everything because actually we got audited yesterday by the ABC, so we had to have all of our ducks in order and everything like that.
To make sure.
Do they tell you when they're coming, or is it a surprise?
They gave us 48 hours,
Okay.
which is actually pretty short. In the past, it was usually a couple weeks, but they're trying to make it tighter and tighter.
Okay.
And that's the on-site inspection that they'll come in and they'll literally count our bottles. But we have a ton of documents that we're going to be supplying over the next week or so too, because we can't just like collect all this data in an instance. They give us a little bit of time to pull all that together. And I just brought that up because, unfortunately, like when I display the bottle, it's got like markers across it and stuff
who was
like
playing
that.
with the bottle?
Yeah, but both of these products though are what we call Distillers Reserves, which simply means that we make so little of them that the Virginia ABC system, we can't really supply enough to them. So they're things that we only sell directly, either at one of our tasting rooms or festivals or something like that. Because even like I think we had our smallest batch 3 months ago, there were 17 bottles produced. So
Wow.
So like, it doesn't make sense for me to ship it off into ABC stores and stuff. So that's just like what these things are.
So just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
even though I'm dying to hear what that is. So does that mean that those 17, you don't have to go through all the paperwork, or?
You do. It's the exact same amount of paperwork. But to be on an ABC store shelf, to get like whatever that 4 inches of space there, you actually have to present that to the ABC board and convince them that you're going to make them money with that 4 inches of space. If you do what's called the distillery only product, which is what these are,
Right.
you don't have to go through that process because they basically don't care. It's our responsibility to sell it. We're not taking up their space. We're not taking up inventory, like we're not filling up their warehouses. So it's basically anything that I produce as a Distillers Reserve distillery only product, I just have to make the product, register it with them, give them the markup, give them the money from selling it, but they don't actually say yes or no, you can put that on the shelf.
Okay.
So
So you still got to pay them, though.
Oh, absolutely. On average, our stuff is marked up by 105%.
Whoa.
Yeah, and we have to pay the feds after that
Thank
too.
you, AB.
Luckily, at the federal level, we finally got this made permanent, but we used to have to pay $13.50 per gallon, which is a lot of money.
That's
and
a lot.
Like on a bottle that ends up being $1.70 or something per bottle. I can't do the math in my head, but anyways, quite a bit. So after the state and after the feds, we are the minority stakeholder in this entire process. Yet we put all the blood, sweat, and tears, and put the money up front. And honestly, I don't want to gripe about this too long because I am like recovering from the audit today.
Exactly.
But honestly, the industry is regulated such that we cannot be successful. I mean, really, they don't want us to be successful, and to some degree, they want to throttle our ability to sell our products and kind of like just have us simmering rather than doing really well.
Exactly.
And that's why all these things are in place ever since Prohibition, basically. So
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So what do you have for us here so we can
so
we
I brought
can smile?
I brought two things, and considering it is before noon, I'm happy to pour either, but one's a little bit more appropriate. So the first one I'll mention is simply, I call it Conifer. And this is a collaboration with a chemical-free Christmas tree farm out in Fishersville near Stanton.
Okay.
And every spring, they have to prune the little green tips off of their blue spruce and their balsam fir. And so we intercepted them. And basically, I put them into our still and distilled it. So it's something kind of in the realm of gin. I can't legally call it gin because the federal government defines gin as a juniper berry containing product. So this has no juniper berry, so I can't call it gin. I call it Conifer, which is kind of just like, you know,
Which is not-
cone-bearing tree
Yes.
type product.
Okay.
And it's super neat. Obviously, when people drink it, they think of Christmas, but actually I find it, we released it in the spring because that's when they did the pruning. But I find it kind of the freshness. I found it very good in the summer because, you know, kind of the cooling
Yeah.
that
Right.
you get from
Like a
all the
mint.
aromatic oil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, so we have 2 different cocktails on our tasting room menu. And we just switched over to our autumn cocktail menu in the tasting rooms. We have 2 different things that have a little
that's-
bit of that in
Wow.
there too.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And then so the other one I brought is a maple syrup barrel aged coffee liqueur.
Oh,
Yeah. And so
syrup.
this actually has a little bit of a funny story simply where people around town, a friend of mine, Michael Lamont at the Alley Light.
Alley Light,
He's
who
the
will be
bar
on
manager there.
soon.
Oh, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He was playing with it. And he basically just like took a couple bottles of our coffee liqueur and put it in a barrel to age it, so you get kind of like, you know, the oak flavors. It just develops over time. And then we also gave it a try behind our bar, and people loved it. So I'm like, we ought to turn this into a product. So we basically scaled up and made it a real product. And this is a collaboration with Back Creek Farms, which is a maple syrup shack out in Monterey County. In Highland County near Monterey. And they age their maple syrup in ex-bourbon barrels. And when they dump that out, they then give us the barrels. So we have a little bit of residual maple, a little bit of bourbon in there, and that's what adds all that extra goodness to our coffee liqueur.
wow, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I'm very happy to pour either of them. Like I'm not sure if you want to have coffee or Christmas trees in the morning.
Both.
that's a good question. Wow.
I definitely got to try the
Christmas tree or coffee?
I would say if you're gonna do both, I'd do Christmas tree first. Simply because there's no sugar in it, and it's tough to like drink something that has sugar and
Gotcha,
then go
gotcha.
back. So
Yeah.
Let's do both. Let's try. Let's try and make people
Why
smile.
not?
The audience, we're doing this. We're
doing this for
sacrificing.
you.
Yep.
We're sacrificing for you, the audience. and
little splashes.
exactly. Oh,
I'll put very little because I don't think we have like spittoons here for you to
oh no! Just
spit it out in
We wouldn't
afterwards
spit
if it's too much.
It's too good to
We wouldn't
spit out.
spit this out. Trust me.
Oh, the smell.
I know
Isn't
you
that
could.
neat?
Right, the aroma's great.
aroma.
You know what's funny too is that the tips of the tree, the little green, fresh growth, has pretty different aromas than the true boughs. Like they're younger. I get a lot more kind of like melon and citrus in them. And actually, so in the early colonial days, people actually used a fair amount of spruce tips and stuff in beers and everything because there's actually a little bit of vitamin C in it. So it helped fight off scurvy and all that too. So it just has the most delicate aromas too.
You can actually just taste it in the background, right? Wow, this is good, though.
And it does
Yeah.
taste like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
It really does. Like you would think that that's impossible.
Yeah. And you might think that's a negative thing, but I think it's
No, it's a positive thing. No.
It reminds you.
I love
maybe
Christmas,
just
so
the
this is
taste
like
connects with
Christmas
your-
in September. Why not?
Yeah, maybe
July.
the taste connects with your nose.
Yeah.
You get a sense of like you taste it and you get a little hit, and then suddenly you like, wait, I smell Christmas tree, but inside.
Yeah, but it's good. It's
Oh,
good when
very
you
good.
smell it first because you do get the aroma.
Yeah, and that's like I said. I like it. Find it refreshing too. Like
It
like
is.
the freshness, like the cold winter breeze.
It's true. It's true. It almost has that like that cooling quality.
So who's the creative one? Are you the creative one that thinks of all these things, or do you
I
also
would say
have?
yes and no. Like I told you a little bit of story behind the barrel aged coffee. It was kind of like a group thought. Like there's
Okay.
a bunch of contributors to that. But I would actually say that's often what I find most fulfilling in this business. Is I like playing with things and inventing new products. This was kind of like something that was in our head. Actually, another bartender at the LA Light, Clay, his uncle is the one that owns the Christmas tree farm. So like he kind of just like kind of connected us and everything, and it kind of just like fell into place. And it's something I've been interested in a long time, and it's a Distillers Reserve because it's a little bit of a beta test. Like it's not real, it's a new product. I didn't really know how it would be placed and received by the market. So I made a Distillers Reserve. It's kind of out there beta testing, seeing if people grow fond of it, and we'll keep on doing it in the future if it ends up being like something that's desirable. So
Absolutely, and you encourage. I mean, the nice thing I love about Vitae is that you encourage the creativity even among the people that your customers.
Oh,
that you have like
absolutely.
the cocktail competition
Yeah.
that just ended.
Exactly.
To really see what they could come up with
Yep.
with your product.
yeah,
With your
yeah,
experience.
and we can diverge on that for just a little bit because we just finished
Absolutely.
that because as I mentioned, we We basically change our cocktail menu at the tasting room seasonally. So every equinox and solstice, plus or minus, we change it. And so we, as the staff of Vitae Spirits, I have homework every night where I go and try to develop cocktails that I submit, and honestly, whatever's best gets on our menu. But we have so many enthusiastic customers, and with so many great ideas, every now and then we'll do a competition, and we get, on this last one, we probably got maybe like 13 or so submissions.
Nice.
Wow.
And we have to like pair them a little bit. We do have regulations we have to follow, and there's some things that have like fire, and like I'm like it's like we have to get
It's on fire every time.
So there's a certain level, staff level of paring it down to like what is kind of manageable. But then we pick 2 finalists. We make them for a weekend. Every customer that comes in gets to vote on their favorite, and we tally them up at the end. And the winner this year is The Campfire Story.
The Campfire
by
Story.
Rod Fleischer, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And that is kind of a rum and toasted marshmallow syrup.
Oh, interesting.
With blackberries, actually, too. So there's a lot of tastiness going on inside that cocktail.
very
He's the one that won.
Blackberry.
So we had our second was very close. It was actually Chris Morales from Tonic.
Oh, okay.
He made this I'm Late, which was a carrot based. So it was a beautiful
Like
carrot
the little
juice.
rabbit. that
Yeah,
was
like
the
the
Alice in Wonderland.
yeah.
I'm late,
So that's
I'm
one of
late.
the things with cocktails. People always try to get like really crafty with the name too. There's all these innuendos and double entendres and
I love
stuff
it.
like that.
I
So,
love it.
Yeah. Just
that's-
so I can give you a pour of this too.
Absolutely.
This is the
I'll sacrifice you.
barrel aged coffee liqueur. Splash there. I make all of our liqueurs at 80 proof, so this is pretty boozy. Usually they only have as much sugar in them as the federal government requires me to. Federal government says I have to put 25 grams per liter if I want to call it a liqueur. So a little bit of sugar.
Interesting.
That's what I usually do, but because this was in maple syrup barrels, it picked up a little bit more sweetness along with the maple syrup flavor and everything too. But yeah, this stuff is a little bit dangerous.
Sweet and boozy.
And the base coffee is from Mudhouse Coffee Roasters too.
Oh,
They're the ones we use for our general coffee liqueur, and then we just use that same coffee liqueur recipe to put in the barrel.
Put into the barrel.
Yeah. The maple comes out the end
that
a
is
lot
good.
too.
It does. First you get that coffee.
First is coffee.
Yeah, and then the maple.
Then the maple syrup starts coming. Oh,
This is good.
this is very.
I mean, if you like creme de cacao, this is so much better.
Yeah.
This
yeah,
is better than
You know?
creme de
Yeah.
cacao.
Yeah.
This is.
No,
Wow.
yeah, this stuff's super. We'll be making more, but honestly, there's a very limited number of those maple syrup barrels, so we can't make very much. And that's what I think this one was. Yeah, we number these bottles, like if we make 308, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is, I think we made about 300 bottles of this.
Wow.
You know what I like about it? I mean, obviously it's a personal taste.
Yeah.
I'm not. Doesn't mean I don't like it, but I'm not necessarily a fan of like very very sweet liqueurs, right?
Yep.
But this has the intensity of a good liquor or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Spirit. There you go. That's the word I was looking. Spirit.
Spirit.
With a hint of that sugar, but then
Yep.
you can actually taste everything
Yeah.
else, right?
And that's why, to some degree, people are somewhat put off sometimes when they hear that this is at 80 proof. This is pretty high alcohol, 40% alcohol by volume.
Right.
But having the higher alcohol content actually allows you to carry and mobilize flavors a lot better. And that's why if you get vanilla extract to put into your cakes and stuff like that, that's an alcohol. Because alcohol is a very good solvent for the aromas and everything like that. So like both our gin, which is at 90 proof, and this, I keep it higher alcohol content. So in a sense, we have more mobilized flavor.
Interesting.
And so that's a kind of a decision that we made. And really the base of this is rum. So we get a little bit of the kind of the caramelized flavors in there
Which
also
beautifully
too.
the sugar of the
Yeah.
rum with the maple syrup flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, this is one of my favorite
Now,
ones,
just
I have to
quickly,
say.
so like when you talk about the drinks that you have,
Yeah.
and seasonal. So like in the autumn, what do you concentrate on? Because I mean, for me, like autumn, you think of pumpkin and apples and things
Yeah.
of that sort.
And I mean, certainly there's
Cakes.
things that I would say are culturally associated with autumn. And we do have a pumpkin latte cocktail.
Do you really?
There's some crafty name of it. I can't remember what it's called. But TJ, our director of tasting room operations, came up with that one, and he was resisting it because like everybody wants
The pumpkin
the
spice
pumpkin.
latte.
Yeah, and like it was like too cliche. But he got so much pressure. He's like, we got to put something pumpkin on the menu. No, but like the campfire thing I was talking about. Like so
Yeah,
the
that's right.
submission.
That's perfect.
And so like so it tends to be things that have a little bit more gravity in terms of like little bit heavier. We do try to focus on kind of like the agricultural products of the season too. So we often have apple cidery based things
Right.
rather than something that's associated with spring like strawberries or something
Gotcha.
like that. So we try to both follow the agricultural cues, but also the cultural cues to some degree also. So
And over that, absolutely. That's fantastic.
No, that's good. That's
And
what
that's
I
what you
like.
want, is way that you can keep going back,
yeah.
right? And
Yep.
there's always something
Yeah.
new to
Yeah.
try and a
Yeah.
new way to experience the different spirits
I've
that
been
you
kind
have.
of amazed, because we actually put all the cocktail recipes once we produce them on our website. So we have this growing encyclopedia basically of cocktails, and we're partly doing that so that we could go back and grab them. But we actually haven't repeated any of our seasonal cocktails yet either. So like, there's a lot of creativity out there always being tapped into.
That's fantastic. That's
That is
fantastic. No,
fantastic.
this is that's great because there's nothing wrong with celebrating the seasons, especially celebrating with a little spirit.
A little
Yeah.
spirit, a little.
Yeah.
You gotta have the
Spirit
seasonal
is so
spirit,
important.
right? And I think there's something coming up so you can celebrate this
That's
coming
right.
season. I know I'm very excited for
That's
it
right.
on October 9th, the First Street Fair.
That's
which is
right.
back. So can you
Yep.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like, so Vitae Spirits opened a downtown tasting room recently at the corner of First Street and Water Street, and so we kind of helped to revive, I would say. The First Street Fair was a pre-existing event that basically it's a block party on First Street between Water Street and Main Street that gets shut down and things happen. In the past, it's been kind of craft vendors and things of that sort. Since Vitae Spirits is down there a little bit, and it's definitely a collaborative effort. But I put in a fair amount of work to kind of make sure that it all comes together. And so we have wineries. We have Hark Winery. We have Eastwood Winery. We have Potter's Craft Cider. We have Vitae Spirits as kind of like the beverage end. And then Sombrero is bringing their food truck. They're parking at the end. And then Darling Boutique, Linnea, is organizing a fashion show. So we'll have fashion and stuff going on too. We got a band that we got connected to from the Music Resource Center, which is a nonprofit that kind of like promotes budding artists and things of that sort. So we have a great group called Abby Ellerglick. We assigned them yesterday. They'll be playing 2 1-hour sessions for that too. And then all along the street, we have vendor booths where we have artisans, we have jewelers, we have portrait artists, we have hemp wares and stuff like that.
Amazing.
So it's going to be a street fair, and that's basically from noon to 6 p.m.
Noon to 6, okay.
Crossing fingers for no rain.
No rain.
It's looking a little scary, but we're like a week out right
Oh,
now.
with a week out, if it says rain right now, there's probably a good chance it
As I
won't
say,
rain.
maybe that's a good thing.
It's a
Maybe
good
that's
thing.
a good thing.
Anything that I have taken to saying anything my phone says is going to happen a week from now, the opposite will happen. So that's what we'll.
Oh, you got a great phone there.
A little weather app. I'm like, nah, it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
'Cause we don't want any rain on this parade.
Super.
So that sounds amazing. Between the live music, the amazing food, just.
Yeah.
Sombreros has some fantastic food.
And you'll be giving
these-
out those
I know
drinks?
these amazing
Those
drinks.
full?
Yeah, so that's what we're obtaining. It's not in hand yet. An ABC license.
Okay.
Because basically we got a permit from Charlottesville to shut down the whole block.
Okay.
And then we're collaborating with the Bridge Progressive Arts Initiative as a nonprofit sponsor. So a lot of our proceeds will go to the Bridge, like $1 per cocktail or something like that.
It's for a good cause as
Yeah,
well.
and honestly, having a nonprofit involved too opens up a lot of ABC license possibilities because there's just much more leniency in a sense when a nonprofit's involved. So they're actually kind of like our ABC license sponsor. But then they get something in return, and it's really good for everybody type situation. So yeah, and we hope this is like the beginning of a coming series too. Like it was basically shelved for the pandemic. It's an
Right.
outdoor event though, so it's a little bit more
Exactly, yeah.
attractive
Exactly.
to people and
Yeah.
everything. And October's usually a gorgeous
Oh, it's a
season.
perfect time
So
of
it
the
is.
season really
Perfect
to be
timing.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh, I will definitely be there. I wouldn't miss
makes
this
two
one.
of us.
That makes two of us.
I know a young lady, if it's crafts, and she's coming.
That's true, that makes
She's-
three of
She's
us.
going to drag me there.
I know,
Let's
we'll keep adding more Urpís to come to this, and we definitely encourage the audience.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't miss it. I mean, there's so between the amazing spirits, the good food, the live music, the good cause.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, it's a good package.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ian, it's been so fun to have you on.
Thanks.
It's always fantastic.
As always, it was a blast for me to come by here, too.
Yes, we know we
Thank you,
appreciate it.
and
so
salud.
much.
Salud.
Salud. Thank you so much. And as always, VitaeSpirits.com.
That's right.
You can find all of this, and
Yep.
we definitely encourage you to go to try the tasting room and see those Distillers Reserves that are
Yeah.
there. Absolutely, thank you so
Thank you.
much for coming
Thank you.
on. It's always a pleasure
It's-
to taste these.
Absolutely.
These
We got to have
amazing
him at least once a
creations.
week,
At least once a week. I mean, that would be the impetus to create a second show. On our second show, it will be Ian from Vitae Spirits every time with a new top 10.
That and you just bring somebody that can bring cakes or food or whatever. I mean, this is just, it would be so much fun.
Exactly.
Right? It'd be
So
terrific.
Absolutely. So
No, but that was first of all, that was very flavorful, right? I mean, and as you said, it's just amazing that you can taste like the aroma of the pine comes through, right? And then the
Yes.
other one, the aroma, you can smell a little bit of the aroma of the coffee, but then you also
get
have
the maple
the
syrup.
maple syrup
That's
behind
the
it.
amazing
you
part.
know?
It comes at the end. Almost
Exactly.
like afterwards.
And I love maple syrup, so it's perfect. I mean, coffee I like because it's, I mean, I like the kind of that strong coffee and
Yeah, you like to taste
espresso.
your coffee
Exactly.
really well.
So that was wonderful. I really enjoyed that.
I need to go and buy one of those bottles because that's very.
have to.
In the winter, I could see
Listen,
myself.
it's only
having
17, so if you don't hurry up, you're going to miss out on it.
I know. I gotta get
It
going.
might be only 16 by now.
By the time I run down to
At the end of the
tasting
show,
room, by the end of the show,
there'll
there
be
won't be any
a
left
rush.
of that. But
Speaking of crafts,
Speaking of crafts and festivals, and just going out and enjoying local artisans, we
I
have.
got a sunny day. I mean, this is all very exciting.
I know
to me.
it is. It is. We have two fantastic ladies with us here today that are there. The Jacqui Slusher and Maiden Watson. They're some of the founders of Craft CVille, which is, I mean, that is also coming up, a great festival. But I'll have them in their eloquent words
Absolutely.
tell us about it. Jacqui, Maiden, thanks so much for joining
Welcome.
us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Such a pleasure to have you both on. So for those who don't know us, we can do one by one. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, because I know you're both artisans and have your own businesses as well as being volunteering with Craft CVille. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and your own businesses to start off.
Well, my name is Jacqui, and I have my own little craft business. I make, it's kind of hard to explain. I make magnets out of vintage clothespins.
Whoa,
So-
interesting.
They're cute.
Thank you.
They're
Thank you.
amazing.
It's very kind. So I dabble in a lot of fandoms. So I tend to paint a lot of people that I like artists and literary icons and all kinds of things. And my business is called I Wear Blue Tights.
I wear blue tights. Yes. So if you try to put that in online, is it iwearbluetights.com?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, it
So
is.
iwearbluetights.com.
iwearbluetights.com. And what about yourself, Maiden?
So I own Sliced Cake Bar. We are a mobile cake trailer food truck. We provide cake by the slice, cake flights, and buttercream shots. But we also do big cakes and weddings and things like that. So,
Fantastic.
terrific,
I remember
terrific.
Sliced Cake Bar from the celebration of diversity from the Minority Business Alliance.
Yes.
You guys were there a couple of years, and when I tasted the little buttercream flights,
Yes.
I looked and said, why is nobody eating all those buttercream? I'm going to go eat them all because they were so good. I couldn't stop. I kept going back because they were so good.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's helpful to know her and have her as a friend. She actually made my wedding cake. So
there you
yeah.
are, there you
Yes,
are.
Jacqui got us started.
Oh, there you go.
And then the support of Craft CVille, actually, for real, Craft
Yeah.
CVille allowed us to just kind of bring a table and a tent and set things up. And now here we are 5 years later
Yeah.
with a trailer, and we're going all over the place.
Yeah.
That's
Terrific.
amazing.
That's wonderful.
amazing. So tell us a little bit about the origins of Craft CVille.
Yeah.
So essentially, I started doing my magnets about 8 years ago, and I was working with a lady named Amber, and she came into town, and she's like, I want to start some shows. I want to start some craft shows, and so she started Craft CVille. And so I started helping her out, and that was great. And then we also had another group that was doing a show called Fleaville. And then we had another group that was doing a show called Craftacular, and that was a Christmas show that had been going on for years and years. Well, Amber had to leave, so she said, "You want to take over Craft CVille?" I said, "Why not? I don't know what I'm doing." Sure, I just make stuff.
Perfect. I don't know what I'm doing.
Sure. Then Fleaville, they left, and they said, "Hey, you want to take over Fleaville?" And I was like, "Of course, yeah. I'm not doing anything
You just
else."
don't know how to say no. Is that the upper?
And then Craftacular got wind of it. And so then I said, well, okay, fine. If we can merge all of these things and make one big collective supporting crafters, supporting makers, but I need help. Again, don't know what I'm doing. I just make stuff. So I reached out to Amy Hummel, who is with Tempest and Spark, and she makes beautiful jewelry. And I said, I can't do this. I am going to need a lot of help. I said yes to all these things. And so we just kind of thought, well, we'll just merge them. And so now we have Craft CVille. We put everything under Craft CVille. We still have our Christmas event. We're taking a hiatus because we like to do it indoors.
Right.
So it's not really going on. It didn't go on last year. We did a virtual situation and this year, but we're still trying to make it work. We've been partnering with Stonefield to do outdoor markets, and that has just been really
fantastic.
It's been fantastic. So well received. They are so kind. They are so supportive of what we're trying to do. So it really just started with me wanting to protect these really wonderful markets that were going on and not wanting to lose that for people. And then we just decided to merge it all together and make Amy do all the work.
That always works.
Yeah.
So the Christmas one, so you're saying you don't know if you're going to have one or you're going to have one in Stonefield maybe this year?
So what we're going to do this year, instead of doing Christmas, is we've kind of broken it down. We did a show. We just did a show a couple weeks ago at Stonefield. We're going to do one October.
We're going to do one October 23rd, and then we'll do another one on the 20th of November.
Okay.
So three opportunities
Yes.
instead of one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific.
So we've kind of broken it out and tried to make it safe for everybody, but also definitely supporting our folks, because that's what we want to do.
That's
Right.
important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things people can expect when they go to like the Craft CVille market?
Oh, they can expect to see all kinds of really unique artists. I mean, we've had woodworkers, we have jewelry makers, and even though there's maybe 4 or 5 jewelry makers there, each piece is very unique to each artist. I love that you will see a mixture of people from all walks of life that have this creative and just wonderfully beautiful side of them that comes through in their products. And then, of course, we have cake too.
Yeah,
so
cake.
we
Yes.
always show up
You
too.
get hungry while walking.
Well, that's important. Walking around, you need something to eat.
Exactly.
Yes.
Nothing better than cake.
Absolutely.
The cake is the most important thing.
That's right.
And then what we are a group of crafters that organize these events. Like this is, not a corporation, not an event planning situation.
Right.
These are makers who are doing this, and so I think at our core, we want to do events that are successful for makers, and that is important to us. And so a big thing also what we do is we want to support people who are starting out. We were all starting out at one point.
Right.
Yes.
Like Megan said, she got her start at Craft CVille. I got my start at Craft CVille and Fleaville and all of those other places. And, somebody said, okay, we'll let her in. And then it grew from there. And,
Right.
we have a 12-year-old little girl right now who's making beautiful jewelry. And she did her,
yes.
she did a show with us, our September show. And, that those are the people that we want, to come and we want to help their businesses grow. And
Absolutely.
I think, and that's important to us.
So if you're a maker, as you say it, or a person that creates, an artist, do they get in contact with you if they just started something and want to basically display their wares and their arts?
Yeah, so when we do our shows, we do have a certain number of spaces that we can provide. And in order to get in touch with us, they would just contact us either through Facebook or Instagram. We do have we're both on those social medias. And we also have a website, which is craft-cville.com. craft.cville.com.
Okay.
And
Craft.cville.com.
that's usually where we post. We have a show coming up. Applications are open. We do have a small vendor fee, but that goes back into providing whatever we need to provide
Sure.
for the
To
next
make,
show.
to make the
course.
show actually
Right.
go on.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and the beauty is that by supporting it and by becoming a vendor or by going, it's not as though, like you said, it's not as though you're supporting some very large group that is putting together and hiring. Like, this is organized by people who actually are fellow artisans, who
Yes.
actually care and want to grow the businesses of these artists that are producing such beautiful things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get so excited when we pull up to a show, and as everybody's setting up, I like to walk around and just see what all they're putting up, and then like, ooh, I got to go back and get that. Ooh, Jacqui, put those magnets aside. I need those.
Yep. I have to block myself from walking around. I get like a one walk through. And then I have to sit because then
You have to sit
then all my
at
money
your
just
place.
goes away, which is fine. It's fine.
All I can say is I hope your mother's not watching the show. Otherwise, I'm in trouble.
She's going to go and said, we need to stop at every single one.
Yes.
Because she loves craft
she
shows.
loves
Oh.
arts and crafts and
Yeah.
just seeing what others have created.
Yeah, and it's a great way to find a really unique gift to give to someone
Exactly,
that,
yeah.
you know, that isn't mass produced.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and you're helping out a small business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in some ways, this is perfect for the Christmas season, even though it's not super close, because this is
November
what people
20th
are
is
looking.
perfect. I
November
mean, listen,
20th, October 23rd.
You got Costco,
People are
already got
beginning to
Christmas
look.
stuff, so this is
Well,
perfect.
this is
Yes.
like if you're looking for that Christmas gift that's unique,
Yeah.
that you can't find anywhere else, you
Yes.
can't find online on Amazon, you can't find it in a big Walmart.
That's right.
Like, you can only find
Yeah.
these unique
It's
gifts
unique, exactly. That's the key.
At Craft CVille, and now you have plenty of time. You have two opportunities.
Yes,
to
we have
look.
two more. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing about making it go back to a small business, because if you think about it, when you purchase from a small business, like, you're paying for a kid's swim lessons. You know, you're paying for, you know, a family vacation. You know, those are the things that I think about. It's like you get this wonderful handmade thing that you get to pass on to somebody that you love, but then, you know, behind the scenes there's like,
Right.
you know, a mom is doing a happy dance because, you know, now she can, you know, her kid can take ballet. You know, it's like a big wonderful cycle.
It's you know
Yes.
what? It's a win-win, because you're buying something that truly is unique. You can't find it anywhere else. So the person you're giving it to looks at it and say, "Wow, where did you get this?" I mean, it's not like it's blasted everywhere. So it's something unique. And two, as you mentioned, you're helping somebody that has a very small business, and this is maybe their livelihood, or you know, it's that little thing they do on the side to help them out with, you know, vacations or swim lessons or ballet lessons or football lessons.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you knowing that what you're spending, like the money that you are spending is staying and coming back to the community.
Yes.
And will go around to others. That ballet lesson could be another local business here, and that
Yeah,
swim lesson
absolutely.
could be a local swim teacher.
We know a swim
We know a
teacher.
local swim teacher came on
And
the
when you
show.
buy my magnets, I go buy her cake.
Exactly.
There you are.
So-
There you go. It's perfect. It's a beautiful connection.
And then she comes back and buys more
And
magnets.
and it just keeps going back. See, you two alone are growing the economy.
Yeah,
There you are.
By
we're
full,
doing it.
every time you buy from each other, the GDP of Charlottesville goes up.
Hey, we have to buy our own stuff.
We do. We should.
go.
Yeah.
Invest in us.
Yes. Please
Absolutely.
do. Yeah.
Do invest in it. So it's craft.cville.com. Now, October 23rd, I'm guessing that's all set. Can people still become vendors for the 20th of November?
Yes.
Yes, we are still taking applications for the 20th. And then, so how that happens is, you know, we collect everybody's information, and then, you know, we talk about it as a team. We always want to make people that, you know, again, there's not room for everybody all the time, but we always try to help, you know, people build and grow and say, okay, you know, maybe not this time, but here's what we have going on next time, and, you know,
Yes.
those kinds of things. So we just want to make people, you know, feel like they always have an opportunity.
Yeah, and just curious, so obviously there's cake. So what if somebody was putting together, you know, cookies in a package or something like that? Is that also acceptable, or we're looking just for crafts?
I mean, we don't mind competition.
Well, cookies are
Keeps her on her
competition.
toes.
You know, cake is cake.
Keeps
Cookie's
me
cookie.
keeps me coming up with new flavors. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So bakers can also.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking of the
Yeah,
granola. Remember the
granola,
cocoa?
things like that. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we've had granola vendors. We have
Okay.
people who have made like specialized doggy treats.
Oh, there you are.
Those,
Okay,
those
okay.
kinds
There you
of
are.
things.
That's right.
Cotton candy?
Cotton candy. Yeah.
Oh, that's
yes.
fantastic.
The cotton
Cotton candy?
Candy.
You mean real cotton candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I might be going too.
No, you might be going.
My mom will drag. She doesn't have to drag me. I'll drag her. Drag the cotton candy.
You're just going there for the cotton candy and the cake. I know you.
No, and the weird.
You might see a magnet you like, right?
There you go. Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you both so much for coming on. It's been
Thank you for
lots of-
having us.
Very
Lots of fun.
yeah.
Very inspiring. I'm so glad
Absolutely.
this is.
I'm glad
this
this is
here.
happening, yes.
And it's a way for
Yeah.
really all our local artisans to have an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
and
Yeah,
keep
thanks
up
so
the good
much.
work.
Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Oh,
We got a lot of places to go.
no, we have a lot of places to
Yeah,
visit. I know.
absolutely.
We're going to be busy.
We're going to be busy in October and November.
Absolutely.
Wow.
October 9th, the First Street Fair, October 23rd at Stonefield. the
November
Craft
20th.
CVille, November 20th, Craft CVille.
You got to
Just
remember all this.
So much, so much going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, listen, you know what's interesting? Obviously, there's 2 times of the year here that being outdoors is really when you enjoy being outdoors. One is spring and one
The
is
other is
fall, and
fall.
probably fall is even more because September, October, even November. I mean, sometimes you have to have a heavy sweater or maybe a little jacket, whatever. But it's beautiful. You go
Yeah.
outside, you go outdoors, you enjoy the outdoors. You
Sip
get
of the spirit will warm you up. A little sip of the
there you
coffee
are.
with her will
Put it in
warm
one of
you
those
up
little flasks.
beautifully.
You know, people don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know,
It
and
could be
that
hot
keeps
apple
you
cider.
warm.
It could be hot apple cider.
Absolutely. That's
You
what
know,
I would
just-
call it,
it's
hot
just-
apple cider.
Yep, just the support of businesses and supporting each
Exactly,
other and helping
exactly,
each other, which
yeah.
is what I love. And speaking of that, I mean, one of our
people that we
favorite
love.
people that we love so much, who's done just so much
For the community.
here. We're so excited to have on Olga Morse, the founder of Forward Adelante Business Alliance.
Oh, you mean
Olga,
that Faba thing? That's the
Faba
founder?
thing, the founder of that
Oh!
Faba thing.
I know.
Olga, so glad
Thank
to
you
have
so much for having me. Oh, this
No.
is such a pleasure. And talking about the weather. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Puerto Rico. Look at me.
Absolutely.
I just have my outfit, my whole tropical thing. I feel perfect.
Muy
yeah.
tropicana.
But you know something? I just before you start asking me
No,
questions.
go for it. This is just a
I just
conversation.
We got a lot of questions.
I
What do you
just-
mean? What do you mean? We got a lot of
No,
questions.
This is just
I
me
told
talking
you, just
with
rice
Olga.
and beans and nothing heavy.
Exactly. I have no
But
question.
you know what it is to come here to this show, to Charlottesville, and have Ian talking about rum, a
Rum?
liquor of rum, and coffee.
Coffee.
It's
Your two favorites.
I can't believe it. Thank you so much. I mean, what a wonderful welcoming. It's like Charlottesville is just this incredible place for diversity. And it's still so alive and so beautiful. Here it is, this guy.
I mean, let's face it.
I love it.
Even Puerto Ricanos can live here, right? You got the rum, you
Yeah.
got the cafecito.
I know.
What more do you need? Maybe a palm tree. Maybe somehow we'll get a palm tree.
That's what we need.
There
The
you
palm
are.
trees will come back.
There we go. That's all we need, and you'll come back to Puerto Rico to do it. But isn't it fun? Like, as I know we've been to so many places that since you came to visiting us in Charlottesville.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
amazing to see all the beautiful, especially like Latino places that are just
Yes,
up and
I am. I'm
successful.
so pleased to see that diversity and also in the business also. But we went to a Cuban restaurant,
Guajiro.
and then the Guajiro, and we also went to El Puerto to eat. Yesterday we went to Bebedero,
Bebedero.
which is upscale kind of just very creative
Exactly.
Mexican cuisine as well. I'm just delighted. I want to go to a very good Italian restaurant, though.
They
We
treat
don't
you
have
well
any
here.
in Puerto Rico.
Oh, so you'd have to,
So we
you
need.
have to go while you're
I
here.
need to go Italian. These
Well,
next
there's so many
days.
good
I
If
will
you go to San
Italian.
Juan, there's got to be one Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
But who wants to go to
no,
San
no,
Juan?
no,
That's what
no.
you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, but there's not. Even, if you go to Italy, and we've been in Italy, I've been in
Okay.
Italy, there's no Italian restaurants in U.S. Real.
Nothing
Yeah,
like
like-
that. Exactly.
But
And
at
nothing
least
like
we
it.
get close.
We're halfway there. We're halfway across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
to Italy.
So later I'll get the recommendations for an Italian restaurant.
Oh,
okay?
we definitely have some.
Yeah.
We definitely have some.
Yeah.
You have to talk to them. I
Good ones, yeah.
don't go
You
out.
gotta talk to Nick, my brother.
Yes.
Oh, he's the
He
eater?
goes everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
He's
good.
always giving me a new place to go eat.
Yeah, great.
But it is just so beautiful to have you back and just remember. I'm remembering when we were doing the Forward Adelante events years ago, and we would seek out like new Latino businesses and say, how do we connect with the community? And just to see the fruit of it, that now the community just, every time there's a new Latino business or one that moves like Guajiros to downtown, the community just flocks there.
It does,
And
yeah.
says, no, I want, it's no longer like, here's why you should be part of the Latino community. It's like the community says, no, I want to be part. Where is the newest way that I can connect with Latino culture and food and music? And it's just so wonderful to see.
It is. And I also, yesterday, we ran into Roa, Edwin, which is the dancer, the one that brings us all that culture. And that was also very a good, great highlight.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
6 years ago.
I know.
I left 6 years ago, and I passed the baton to you and Xavier, but mostly you and Cristel. And I am so pleased to see how well you have moved this project forward.
And it's a shame.
I was thinking about, I need to close this because this has been my I founded it with my son. It was our baby. And I'd rather close this and say goodbye. But no, I felt like you could keep it at that same level of value, of honesty and passion. Because I was always a project of pure passion.
That's right.
So thank you so much. 6 years later, it's still thriving.
Still
It's
thriving.
still, oh my gosh, it's just an honor. An honor.
And honestly, it's a shame, obviously we were into the pandemic because the year before that,
The
the
most
Chuck
people ever
Lewis
at
Passion
Chuck Lewis
Award
Passion
was,
Award. What were we at,
was
120
unbelievable.
people?
Yeah, I mean,
At
so.
Alumni Hall celebrating.
Beautiful.
And I know it'll come back. It'll come
It
back.
will.
I feel very, very good about that.
I do like the fact that you're thinking well, because why should we go to a networking event, right, connection event with
Yeah, but there's no like
and
hugging
with no,
and,
you
just
know,
the Latino culture, right?
it's
That's
just
part of Forward
we
Adelante.
gotta hug, we gotta kiss.
Absolutely. Look, that's a Latino way.
And,
If you
know,
don't
the
hug,
Latino
you don't say
way. So,
hello.
no,
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
6 feet distance.
No.
Unless if they, I don't know, build some arms, or we can just go there.
Exactly. So my thing is like, rather have
We're
the
talking about
patience.
centimeters, not feet. right?
Yeah, centimeters. Sometimes not even centimeters. Once I give you a kiss hello, there's no centimeters.
Centimeters.
Yeah, but thank you for waiting, and
it's
thank
just
you
the
for
patience.
doing what you're doing. It's just perfect. And-
Because Forward Adelante, I think it was always a unique, and it remains a unique
yeah.
way of connecting with people.
Yeah.
Because it's not your typical networking event. Just like you said, today Mañana is not your typical
Yeah.
show. Like it's not like you sit here and say, and I'm going to interview you. We have this like timer ticking down, and so it just does. It's about
Time for commercial.
connection, and it's about the people. It's about the culture, the food, the music. It makes like Latino culture and the way it interacts with business is unique. I think.
Yeah,
Don't you
it
feel
is.
that way?
Well,
Olga?
it is the initial thought was that bridge, to make that two-lane bridge, right? And it's still going because we need a bridge that was 2 lane, so we can just mix up with, and mix it up and connections and find who's who among everyone, and that was the idea. Yeah.
This is just a beautiful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still guided by the vision.
Yeah. So when are you coming to visit me?
I need
At
to
Puerto
come.
Rico.
I need to come to Puerto
I mean,
Rico.
I'm just waiting.
I
Es
know,
que a
I
él no
know.
le gustan los frijoles negros tanto como.
No. A mí me encantan los frijoles. El arroz.
El arroz
Pero
con
el arroz con gandulas.
gandulas.
Gandulas es diferente. No es arroz blanco. Es arroz
Con gris es arroz con
gris,
frijol.
okay.
No, that's different. It's rice
different.
and beans.
There you-
I mean, red beans with rice and a little pork on the side.
When Olga made it for me, it was like,
No. El puerco asado,
Dios,
and the
sería
pork.
tostones.
And then the fish, I mean, she's like I mean, she goes like this, she touches the water. I mean, talk about
I know.
social distances. She doesn't even social distance from the fish.
Yeah, yeah,
And she goes like this, she grab one out of the water, and there you
You
are.
know what is neat? I see the fishermen going out in the morning, and then around 1 o'clock they come back, and then I just get ready and I walk to when they bring in to drop off the fish to the little market there, and I am friend of them, and so I go into the boat, outside of the boat, but I'm looking at what is still jumping sometimes, and I can pick it up, and I said, give me that one that is jumping less jumping.
More dead.
And my daughter went, I said, Mom, how can you buy this thing? It's still alive. I feel sorry for this guy. And I said, this is as fresh, as organic as
That's how
it
you
gets.
want it.
Yeah.
That's how you want it.
So,
I bet
yeah.
you taste the best fish that you could
Yeah, so
possibly have.
I've been eating fresh fish, and also the vendors, that bring the produce from the mountains, the different farms, and the avocados, the mangoes, everything, and
That must be
the
good.
sweet potatoes, all kind of, and that's have been my diet. And these are all trees, some of them, and they are organic. It's just naturally organic stuff. And I, by the way, talking about that, I just got myself a little bit of a mountain, chunk of a mountain, like a little farmette on top of the
Farmette.
mountain. So that's why once I go back, that's going to be my project. I'm going to make it into
little farm.
glamping
Oh, so people can go visit
setting,
you.
very private, very quiet, that you enjoy the earth, the mountains, everything about the beauty of the jungle
Yeah.
type of
Absolutely. Like the intimacy
greenery
with
that we
nature.
have in Puerto Rico. So that's going to be my next project. I'll send you photos. Just bring in your tent, or I can set up your tent.
You can set up my nice
It's going to be
glamping
an
tent.
elegant little tent with
Yeah.
a nice
A
cotton
tent
sheets.
with make sure you got a
It's
lot
like a
of.
bed
And you
above the
just have the
ground.
star, no lights, no internet, nothing. It's just go there and be with God and nature.
Nature, oh.
So
Just got to keep the
I'll
bugs
leave my
away.
phone
Though.
behind. I'll basically say, here's my phone. Don't bother calling me because I'm going to be in a tent
No,
on
yeah.
top of a
What
mountain.
is it?
Yeah,
Clam
yeah.
net? What does it call it?
Glamping.
Clamping.
Glamping with a
glamping,
G.
glamorous,
Glamping.
Glamorous camping.
Oh,
Yeah.
glamping.
Glamping.
Yeah, and
Never-
I have a partner.
That's exactly what he needs. Glamorous camping, because the other kind of camping,
No, I need
I'm not too sure.
I need
Glamorous camping.
my bed elevated off the ground so that there's no bugs.
Yeah.
And my cotton sheets.
Coleman beds, they are just very cute, very beautiful. Oh my God, it's just all.
Just make sure he works the land a little bit, and don't let him just enjoy too much.
Well, your son Evo has the
And then
machete.
we are
Has that
trying
acted-
to train him on the machete.
We have to-
I have some Puerto Rican girls that are already dying to meet, show him how to use the machete. And I said, Ivo, here you are, he's now climbing rocks and stuff like that. You don't know how to use the machete, but it's okay. We have Puerto Rican girls that are going to just show you how to do it because we're going to need them. We're going to need the machete thing.
Because you got to
But,
clean it off and
it's-
put the
it's-
beautiful.
But we have oranges there. We have palm trees, and it was a coffee farm before, plantation.
Yeah.
So I just have a chunk of it. It's not much, but it's 4 acres.
Beautiful.
But it's right on top of the mountain, overlooking.
Did you say like it overlooks like a valley and more mountains and the ocean
even
in the
the ocean
distance?
from far away. It's
got a river
and
nearby.
The river, yeah, and the river is called Where the Gods Died.
Really?
Yeah.
The dog's down.
Well,
Because
say that in
the
Spanish.
story goes, donde los muertos, no, donde los dioses mueren.
Mueren.
Donde los dioses
Dioses
mueren,
mueren.
where the gods die. Because the legend or the story goes that when the Spaniards came to Puerto Rico, the Indians, the natives, were very afraid of them and they thought that they were gods.
Oh.
But once, after a while, a few Indians, right? Salcedo was the major knight, Spaniard knight that used to be the commander. They trapped him on that river, and they drowned him.
Oh, and they realized that.
And they stayed
they
with
say-
him, watching him for 3 days, and they knew that he was, decomposing.
Yes.
The same way that they were, and he was totally dead, and he was not more that he was
Not
immortal.
immortal.
They thought that they were immortal.
Oh, and they realized that
And that's
he's
when
not a
they
god.
figure out, no, they are not. And that's in that river where I'm looking at is where that incident
interesting.
happened.
So much history.
And that's when the war began, and the Indians rebelled, and then there was a major battle when they said, hey, we can kill these guys as well.
Wait a second. He looks pretty dead. I don't know. You after 3 days, you're like,
You just got to get them all to the river and they drown.
no, exactly.
So that story just
That's an
so
amazing
sweet.
story. So fascinating, just that
Yeah.
you would have that in your backyard.
That's the name of the river where the gods died.
Interesting.
That's amazing. Oh, what else are you thinking of planting? I'm curious.
Planting?
On the terrace.
Well,
'Cause you already
first,
have the
first I
origin.
need the machete
Sure.
and the clearing, and in the area that is totally flat, because we have a flat area like an acre and a half maybe. I think that's where the glamping is going to go. Perhaps a fire pit and a gazebo. I want just a very simple, beautiful gazebo that will protect us from rain, and that will be like the common area.
Right.
To be, and that's all. I don't want to build a house. I don't want any major structure. I want simplicity,
Exactly.
and just enjoy that both. Then I have the ocean, and then I have
And the land.
and the mountain.
I need
So-
to go.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
perfect.
wait till the machete has been done a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's not too much
Yeah,
done.
you don't want.
He doesn't want to be put to
You,
work.
you
on
really
it.
don't want to put me in the middle of a jungle, because I'll be there. I'll be like, what's that? What was that? What touched me? What was that? And so before you know, you're like, Alex, get out of there. You're useless. You're useless. So I'll wait till the machete's been done a little, and then we get the tent. I'll say, okay,
But
I'm
that
coming
evil
in.
gets a training from
Evil
the
will get
girls,
the training
and
from
then,
the girls.
and then he gets going with the cleaning of the land,
Exactly.
and then
And then you call me and say, Alex,
you
I
mean-
have the
you mean-
tent, and I.
You mean you would want to be trained by some girls, by some
Puerto
Puerto Ricans, how to Puerto Ricanas, how to
That's
machete?
fine. I would happily be trained by them to use the machete. It's everything else that lives there. That's the problem. Like the Puerto Rican girls is fine, but the
No, but
the
actually,
buds,
we don't
the
have
snakes.
poisonous snakes. We
have
have
to be
no
poisonous.
nothing dangerous. Nothing dangerous in
Oh, I
Puerto
know, but see, the
Rico.
problem is the buds. They
They're not
harass
dangerous.
me.
They
But
just
No, but the
they-
buds in the States, they harass me. They touch me without consent. So it's a big deal for me. I'm like, I didn't tell this bud that he could touch me. That's all I'm saying.
Alex, please. Wow, you need training.
I do need training. I probably do need for
Do
my
you
own
have
benefit
any
to go.
Latino blood in you? Are you
There's
sure?
There's the Cuban
He
side.
does.
But maybe
Well,
it's
listen,
Where's the
but
Cuban?
well, I have to
Where's the
admit,
Cuban in you?
I have to admit, when I was a little boy, I was deadly afraid of all bugs. All bugs.
yeah?
Oh yeah. I mean, in Cuba, come on, in Cuba they had las cucarachas that
flying
flew.
cucarachas.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, it was like that. I mean, so they hit you. They
Flying
flown.
cockroaches.
Yeah. No, it was not fun.
Is that
for
the ones
those-
that would carry the small children away? The giant,
Well, that's what they used to tell me, so I had to be good. That's how I became good. It's like they'll carry you away. Yeah.
the giant flying cockroaches.
So.
Oh goodness. Oh, but
It's been so good.
it has been. It'll be beautiful to be able to go down there and experience the nature, and just the intimacy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you'll have.
And these
on the
are great
mountaintop.
days just to do that, to get away from everything. And yeah.
Just be at
Yeah, and
peace.
just be with, as I say, with nature and God, and feel the earth and also the ocean, and just don't look at anybody else. Just stay
Exactly.
there.
You don't need other
Maybe that's the
people.
best part.
The best part. It's like, I don't
Just
need any other
wait
people.
until that the news go, oh, everything is fine, oh, good.
There you go. Exactly.
right.
By the time you come out of the mountains, you'll be like, it's a different world.
Yeah, that's great.
Said, Olga, where have you been? In the mountains.
Well, you know what? You can send me a text. I will accept a text when you hear the news here that,
It's all
everything is
over.
clear, everything is over. And
We're all safe now,
we
we're all
can
good.
come out.
You can come out of. I'll send you. I won't even tell you the news. I'll send you a text that says, Olga, you can come out of the mountains now.
Okay, great. And I trust that you are right about what I want once I come down the mountain.
Exactly. Well, better yet, I'll go join you, and then you'll text me and say, Alex, you can come out of the mountains. I'll come out with like the long hair.
You long hair?
Well, I can't.
Maybe the beard.
The beard will like be really big coming out of the mountains.
No, but you know what? I do want, at least it's sought after. That experience now in Puerto Rico is big time. A lot of local tourism seeking the peace and quietness that you can achieve in a place that is away from everything. And that is very, very popular now. And I want to make that as a retreat, a place that is really unique. And even if you want to do yoga or you want to, I don't know, just be, as I say, within yourself, taking that journey, that's a place to go. And that's going to be my next project.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You always have that.
I just want to know,
energy
are there
in
going to
projects.
be, is there going to be rum and cigars there too?
Oh, pitorro.
Pitorro.
Yeah, because the pitorro, you see, we don't go through all the things that you have gone through.
A, B, C,
we just
D,
get the
E,
sugar
F.
cane. And,
You have your own sugar, so you distill your own rum, is that what you're trying to say?
And then, I don't know, suddenly the pitorro is in a bottle and we drink it. There's no labels.
How it got there?
It just appears.
There's no labels.
It's like moonshine,
Yeah, but moonshine
only better,
Oh!
only better.
because it's rum. It's
It's
got
rum.
azúcar.
Yeah.
Comes from azúcar.
From cane.
No, it's from the sugar cane, and it's and it's
So
just
is there sugar
amazing.
cane
But
in the
now
farm
they've
too?
been Getting very creative. Very creative. Like the one that I get is cured in almond
Oh,
and coconut. It's almost as sweet, a little sweeter than this. Thank you so much. And it just, it goes so smoothly, but it's deadly. And someone said to me, do not eat the almonds. If you eat one almond, you're gonna
boom.
you're gonna be done.
Sleep
And I
for a
said,
few
Are
hours.
you sure that an almond can do so much damage? I said, yeah. Because the almond is just concentrated, the alcohol level is just, I said,
Super boozy almond.
I love it. For me to get it, I have to make a few phone calls. I don't know who's the person that finally gets it and drinks it, and it's just that's the carrier of carrying the product from one place to another. That's the most complicated part. Everything else is just.
They can make
So,
it easily. It's finding it.
I invite you to come to Puerto Rico and let's use your technique. We'll give you the mountain.
And there we go.
Okay. That's all you need.
That's all you need is a mountain, some sugar cane.
Yeah, the creativity. This is super.
For Pete's sakes, think about it. You got the
This-
sugar cane, you got a mango, so who knows what they can infuse
Well,
what
my
flavor.
my other son, Gabo, he has a 2-acre, and he is producing the young farmers that are living there in his farm. They are now curing making wine out of mango.
No way.
Really?
Mango wine, and that is like, and every time I go, I say, can I taste it? Not yet. And then they need like 6 months to make it ready or something like that.
Yeah.
And I hope that by Christmas I'll be able to have
taste
it.
it.
And it's yellow. It's just amazing what they are doing, and they have all the technique to do the wine. So they are doing it in 3 or 4 big
Barrels?
containers that it's really fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could make
Wine
mangoes.
from mango.
Oh,
Yeah, and the thing is that they are not. I am imagining, like Ian. I think you kind of know how much is the level, right, of alcohol,
Right.
and you kind of. I think they don't.
they just go.
Right? How can they say, hey, this has this much? Could it be 12%? Could it be 15? I don't know, 150? They just make
Wow, they
it,
just make
and
it.
it's just amazing.
Wow.
I know.
Just the beauty of the land, all the flavors that you have.
Yeah.
That you can then always, there's always something new to taste.
Puerto Rico is very rich, and it is a paradise. It's a beautiful island, beautiful paradise. Sadly to say, the government and the corruption is another theme.
Welcome to Latin America.
And yeah, well,
That's
I
how
think-
he ended
I
up
think
here.
Not just
I'm
Latin
gonna say
America.
all around the world.
All around the world.
The thing
That's
is
true.
that in Puerto Rico and maybe in Latin America, it's more open. It's like they, hello, I mean, we're looking at you.
We see you
look
with
what
your
you're
head
doing.
in the piggy
And it's
bank.
openly being corrupt. And it's like, that's a culture. Be open.
Yeah.
Like no politically correctness.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
even
the Latinos
in
are
that.
open.
It's, yeah, no,
We're open about everything, including
yeah, I
corruption.
know. If you are fat, they're gonna say, you look fat. Or if you are skinny or thin,
You're too
oh my
skinny.
God, you are very skinny. You're looking very skinny. Things like that.
Exactly.
And that kind of is almost refreshing in a way.
Except when it's the corruption, and then you're like,
No,
I'm corrupt. What are you going to do about it? I'm corrupt.
But if we could someday remove the corruption and
take off.
Puerto Rico is just absolute paradise.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And it's the people, too, that there would be so much, so many amazing things that would happen in Latin America if you remove the corruption. I mean, you take the dictatorship off of Cuba and imagine what that island would be like.
Forget
I
about
mean, you see it because every time the Cubans, los cubanos come here,
Yeah.
what do we do so many incredible things. And
Yeah.
the food and the
Yeah,
culture
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So if
Yes.
you guys have just removed the dictatorship from the islands, I think would thrive. It would
All
be
those islands.
Another paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm enjoying that part of the paradise, and I am not gonna let it go. I went there for a purpose. It was to seek peace and shelter for my heart when I had a tough time that I had to go and take care of my husband, and I want it to remain that way. I'm not gonna let it. I decided
Fight
I'm not
for
gonna
it.
let it be taken away from me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love just the spirit and the vision.
It is.
Olga, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. That's
For
been
coming.
I
a
love
wonderful,
you.
beautiful
Coming on the
surprise.
show today, a beautiful surprise.
Thank you so much.
for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad. We've been wanting Olga on for so long.
I know, for so long.
And I'm so glad it was able to be in person.
In person, yes. Skype is
Instead
not
of
the same.
Skype.
It's not the
Instead
same.
of that.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah,
so
it's
beautiful.
great.
Today was a beautiful day on the show.
Beautiful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Long.
I'm out of adjectives. My writer's mind is out of adjectives to describe it. Just so grateful to everything that makes this possible, to the set, to Judah behind the scenes, to Jerry and I Love CVille, to all our sponsors, to Vitae Spirits, GBS Financial Services, Cristel, Noel State Farm Agency, Emergent Financial Services. Don't want to leave us out of that. And just the vision that it was for Adelante continues.
That's right. It
continues.
is, yeah.
Absolutely. Next week, a lot of fun as well. Be sure to join us. We'll have Michael Baldoff from CVille Festival of the Wheel,
Oh, wow.
as well as Anthony and Liz Marie Zambrana from Healing Moon Company. So I think we're going to have some interesting talks next week as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, we always have interesting.
It's always
and-
fun. Like I
and
said,
great
I
guests.
always learn something, and
Always feel
you just
rejuvenated.
you feel good. You feel good.
You
Exactly.
do feel good. And which is what we want for you, the audience, is about to feel good.
That's right.
So like and share this with your friends. Be sure to let them know to watch today's episode and all the other episodes. You can find them all on todaymañana.com, our Facebook page, Instagram. Just be sure to check it out. Let us know what you're thinking. Send us any comments, questions. We're always happy to read them and talk about them on air. And thank you as always, so much for watching. And we're really excited to see you next week. But until then, hasta mañana.